Goodness. Oh, okay, there I am. Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. It's not quite Friday. Let me just retouch my makeup while I wait for some people to come in. Actually, I don't know if anyone's going to show up because this stream was quite impromptu. Okay. Sorry. Had to itch my nose for a while there. I ran out of my drink, Hojicha latte. So sad. The trash can is over there. I want to see if I can shoot this. Ah, score. Okay. So, oh wait, let me put on some mascara. I don't really have a topic lined up for today. I just wanted to come on here and hang out with you guys and chat and just get a few miscellaneous things off of my mind because, see, if you thought I was in my villain era last year or 2023, you are not ready for the rest of what's to come in 2025. Where's my mascara? Let me get a rando one. Okay, this is the Curl Sniper mascara by CanMake. Not the biggest fan, but oh wait, no, actually that's actually quite thick. Okay. That looks all right. I can't find my black eyeliner. And I realized today when I was touching up my mirror, when I was touching up my makeup in the bathroom mirror at work today, you know how the fluorescent lighting is like really unflattering? I noticed that it's really noticeable and weird looking. The I don't know, like the slight gap between my falsies and my real lashes when I wear brown eyeliner, which is mostly what I wear these days. Not that I have a huge gap. I don't purposely leave a gap between my lashes, my real lashes and my falsies, but I don't know. I feel like it's noticeable, especially because there's glue on there too. So you can tell that I glued on falsies, and I came to the conclusion that it's better to probably just return to classic black eyeliner so that everything blends and is covered up nicely. But since I can't find my black eyeliner, I'm just going to make do with some inky black mascara for now. Okay, so yeah, I wanted to come on here and just catch up with you guys. I have to be honest. Do you guys like my Powerpuff Girls pajamas? I'm so sad that they're getting cut off from the screen though. I cannot make this any lower or else you'll see like the mess in my apartment. Okay, there we go. You get a little bit of buttercup. But then my head is cut off. Anyway, I've been in kind of a strange mood, like a pissy mood, to be honest, for this entire past week. I'm pretty sure it started when my air conditioning broke a couple weeks ago. And yeah, I think that's what catapulted me into being a slightly more crankier version than myself overall. But it's not just that. I just feel like there's been a lot, going on in the world right now. It's weird because, I live in Japan, so I'm pretty far removed from American media, to be honest with you. If I wasn't American and just happening to hear things in my peripheral about things happening in the States right now, I would have no idea about everything that's gone down, such as the Charlie Kirk situation, I feel like there was another weird random one. What's his name? Tom Holland got injured while filming the next Spider-Man movie really badly, apparently. What else? I feel like there was another huge one. There's like been new developments in the Luigi Mangione case. Oh, the rapture was supposed to happen like yesterday or 2 days ago, and this is kind of awkward. We're all here, but yeah, as far as this side of the world goes, though, like Japan, Asia, the biggest thing I would say that is dominating our headlines lately is well, aside from all the political stuff, which I'm not going to get into, but there's been like a huge typhoon in Hong Kong, Taiwan region. Not me looking up where the typhoon is, because I have the memory of a goldfish. Typhoon Ragasa, yeah. It's a huge one. There's actually like a death toll and everything. It's actually awful. Hong Kong. Typhoon Ragasa hits Hong Kong with 100 miles per hour winds, which is kind of like weird to me because I just went to Sky Is Your God's live show in Tokyo this past Monday. Well, no, this Monday. So a couple days ago, actually. He's not originally from Hong Kong, but I think he lives there because that's the location that is featured in all of his music videos, as far as I can see. And he switches between like Cantonese and Mandarin rap. So anyway, he did a live show in Tokyo, which I was super excited about. But actually, like, I really did not want to go to this the day of because this was on Monday night. And then at least it was okay because Tuesday was a public holiday. So I knew that I wouldn't have to go into work the next day. I could stay up late and do whatever I wanted. But yeah, the fact that it was Monday night, I was working from home, but I don't know. I don't like to schedule things during the weekday normally, especially when it starts pretty close to when I end work. Because I don't know, I just get stressed out. I don't like the feeling of it. Reminds me that I'm like trapped at a 9 to 5 job every day, and that I don't actually have freedom over most of my time. So the fact that this started at 7 p.m. and the doors opened at 6, I was like, okay, well, I need to leave at 6 p.m. sharp from my home if I want to get there like 10 minutes before 7 p.m. because I'm not going to get there right when the doors open, right? What am I going to do waiting around for an hour? But I wanted to get there at least before 7 p.m. because shows tend to usually start on time here in Tokyo. So, yeah. I don't know. See, this is what I'm talking about. These little things that are like so mundane, and I almost feel bad about going live and I don't want to say complaining, but talking to you about this stuff because I'm sure it's not interesting. However, it is my channel after all, so I can technically go live and talk about whatever I want. But yeah, like, I've just been feeling as though everything is such an inconvenience to me lately, especially this week. Which is odd because actually the weather started to really cool down from last weekend. So it hasn't been like literal hell in my apartment, at least, even with a broken AC. Like, we had a pretty cool weekend, and today and tomorrow randomly are going to go up to the 30s again. But after that, I think that's the last burst of truly hot weather we're going to have for the rest of the year. I was looking at the weather report earlier today, and it looks like we're going to be solidly, transitioning into fall afterwards. So you would think I'd be in a better mood, but I don't know. Somehow everything is just irritating me. Is this like... No, it can't be that. I was going to say, is it perimenopause or whatever, but I don't see any signs of like my period or whatever slowing down. So I don't think I'm quite there yet. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just sick of everything and everyone. And I don't like that because that's not the personality that I normally identify with. But I know that I know there has to be a reason behind why I'm feeling so off kilter lately. So I'm trying to figure that out. Maybe I can use this live as kind of like a therapy session with myself and my audience to try and figure out what that is. But nevertheless, see, I did enjoy this live. Those of you who don't know, okay, I'm sure you'll know when you hear the song, because he had 2 songs that went really viral on TikTok. It's Chinese rap, right? But I've been seeing his songs featured everywhere in people's TikToks and reels and stuff. And I think it's a shame that a lot of people are like, okay, obviously, if you don't know Chinese, nobody expects you to understand what he's saying, but you have Google at your disposal. We have AI at our disposal now. So what does it cost you to just take 5 seconds out of your day to look up the meaning of his lyrics on ChatGPT or something? I'm not saying you guys, but I'm just saying like people that I've noticed in the comments of his songs, and people are saying, "Oh, I have no idea what he's saying, but the vibes are immaculate." You know, like I'm just over here vibing 100%. And I'm like, but you could look up what he's saying very easily within less than 5 seconds. ChatGPT will spit out to you a pretty accurate natural translation of his entire song lyrics. And I feel like you're really doing yourself a disservice if you don't look up those lyrics, because one of his songs, Stacks from All Sides, I think is what it's translated to in English. The very first opening line of that song is a bar in and of itself. Let me see if I can just pull up the song really quick, actually, on my phone. Like the first line itself, when I heard it, my ears immediately perked up and I was like, oh, this song has some powerful ass manifestation energy infused into it. So hold on. I'm going to play you just the first few seconds of Stacks from All Sides. Wait. I just want the original. This is the beginning of the song. So he uses like a Korean sample, and then wait for it. Did you hear that? 才从八方来. Do you know what that means in Chinese? I'm about to blow your mind if you don't speak Chinese. Let's just play it again for dramatic effect. Not that one. Stacks from All Sides. Okay, 才从八方来. That literally translates to wealth comes from all 8 directions. So 8 directions, which basically translates to all directions in English, because you know how there's 4 directions like north, south, west, east, but he's saying 8, as in we're counting now northeast, northwest, southeast, and southwest. In total, it's 8 directions, right? So basically all directions. Wealth comes to me from all directions. How can you not have a certified banger on your hands when you start off your song like that? I mean, it's no wonder that he became a viral worldwide sensation. But yeah, no, it was really good. Like he did not miss. It was the chillest live that I've ever been to, but also it went super hard. Like he has really, really good stage presence, I think. He was really, really relaxed, but at the same time, did not miss a single beat. He was not a millisecond off on any of his raps. I did not detect any mistakes or any hesitation whatsoever. So really solid performer. I would suggest you go see him if he tours near you. But back to my point, though, the reason that I'm bringing this up is that, right after I got home from this live, I heard that there was a huge typhoon that randomly hit Hong Kong. And I was like, wait a minute, isn't that where he's from or where he lives? So I guess now he's still continuing on his tour throughout the rest of like Southeast Asia and stuff. I think he's in Indonesia now or something. But still, what are you going to do when you go back to Hong Kong? I don't know. The world is just really weird right now. And yeah, people have been pissing me off. Um, I don't know what to do. I'm open to suggestions, actually. Like, there's a bunch of, I know that there are so many things that don't even deserve my time or my energy, but somehow I just can't shake the feeling that it does bother me, right? And I don't need to pretend that things don't bother me when they actually do. I feel like, yes, I'm a positive person. I'm very grateful for everything in my life. For the most part, I maniacally, delusionally only focus on the positive and I only focus on the abundant aspects in my life. And that has served me well. Case in point, I feel like, sorry, this is a little off tangent, but I cast a glamour magic spell this past weekend and I feel like it's working, if I do say so myself. I mean, I don't know about you. It could just be my imagination, but I feel like there's a little extra plumpness, a little extra shine, or what's it called, glow to my skin that wasn't there last week. And it's definitely not because I've been getting more sleep, because I haven't, because I'm still out here working like a peasant. But no, I feel like my glamour magic spell worked, and I've been listening to positive affirmations and affirmation rampages and what's it called, subliminals in my sleep as well. So I haven't listened to subliminals in a couple years. I remember like 2-3 years back I discovered Dylan James's channel. He had a lot of like 8-hour subliminal tracks on his channel at the time. So I used some of those and actually it helped me land a job at the time. Like basically a job offer. Somebody literally reached out to me on LinkedIn and it's almost as if that job fell into my lap. So that was my previous job that I worked for 3 years. That was completely work from home. Like most of my team was based internationally. So that was, I mean, that was during the height of COVID as well, where everything was very much still up in the air. And yeah, I just had a job fall into my lap from an industry that I didn't even have any experience in at the time. So after that, I kind of stopped because I felt like I didn't need it anymore. But lately, like I said, I've been in such a funky, like almost negative sometimes mood. I've been letting the negativity like win out more than I'm used to these past 2 weeks. And I don't like that at all. So I feel like, you know, logically, I'm going to take appropriate countermeasures to that by doing whatever I need to do, adding whatever I need to add into my like manifestation, high vibe, whatever you want to call it, cultivating routine. So that's why I've been going back to listening to subliminal tracks at night. Can't say I'm a fan of the earphones because it does hurt my ears leaving them in for that long. However, it's a small sacrifice to make, I feel like, to rewire my subconscious. But yeah, no, people have been pissing me off. Like, and it's not in the way that you would think. It's more like, okay, you know what? We'll just go down the list. So, first of all, Instagram, all of these people that are supposedly my friends that just watch and never support me. And I'm not talking about, okay, I know I'm not being overly sensitive because I'm not talking about people who only use Instagram to kind of lurk and never like. I'm talking about people who we have mutual friends that I can see that they are constantly liking and supporting and complimenting our mutual friend under her posts, but then they never say anything under my posts. However, they watch every single story that I post, every single post that I make. So I'm like, what is the deal? You know, should I just block you right now and save us both the trouble? Like, I really have half a mind to go through my entire social media following and block half the MFers on there. Not even just limited to Instagram, probably like LinkedIn too, because LinkedIn is also okay. So I've been trying an experiment on LinkedIn. I only did like 2 posts so far, but I have been putting out a post here and there business related stuff, right? So it's basically just fluff content. It's nothing that I'm actually passionate about, but I've been testing it out just to see like what type of lurkers I get on Instagram. Which guys in my network that I've always suspected that were there just to, keep tabs on me because they think I'm attractive or whatever. How many of those was I right about in my hunches? And it turns out pretty much damn near every single one. Because like, if we worked at the same place 7 years ago, pre-COVID, so basically in an entirely different timeline and universe, then what is the point of you keeping tabs on me on LinkedIn up until this day? Like, a lot of these people, they've been liking my posts, and I didn't even remember that we ever crossed paths until they liked my post. But then they like it and then nothing else, right? They don't reach out, they don't offer anything of value. So I'm starting to like, it's making me feel a type of way. Basically, I'm pissing myself off. So I completely take full responsibility. I'm the one that's pissing myself off because I'm the one that is curious. I want to know like where I stand with people, not where I stand with them, but like just what kind of energy are people holding me in regard with, if that makes any sense. And you know how they say, if you don't want to know the answer to something, don't ask the question, or don't go looking for something that is going to make me unhappy. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. I'm aware of that. Okay. I'm exercising a degree of self-awareness. Like, I didn't have to do all of that. I didn't have to put feelers out on LinkedIn. I didn't have to, obsessively notice that certain friends on Instagram like our mutuals posts, but they don't like mine. I can choose to not be bothered and not even worry about any of that stuff because I'm so booked and busy, right? But then at the same time, how can you not notice though when it's in your face every day? So again, I come back to this contemplation that I've been having for a while now, that either I just go ahead and block like 50% of the people that are in my circle now, because if we are really being honest, it's not like they add anything to my life. It's not like they post particularly high vibe stuff. It's not like their mindset is anything that I aspire to. So why stay connected with these people? But see, that's the difficult part about social climbing, so to speak, or social strategy, I'll say, because social climbing has a bad connotation. I feel like, especially if you live in a small city, which, if you think about it, every city is kind of a small city, because the main players, there's a lot of people that pass through cities circumstantially, but as far as the main players, like the mainstays in every city, if you really think about it, it's kind of the same group of people, right? Sorry, pretend you didn't see that. It's like the same group of people, that the same small gate-kept groups or communities that kind of control the culture, or they kind of they hold the keys to either the job market or the higher social circles of each city. So it's like you don't want to alienate yourself entirely from that crowd, but then at the same time, it's like, if 90% of those people, I can't stand their fake ass bitch ass faces, then what is the point of me even playing along to get along? But then I also want to think about the long strategy, like playing the long game, which I always encourage you ladies to do. Like, it's always better to play the long game. It's always better to wait things out and to delay your gratification every single time. If you can manage to do it, you're going to come out 10 times, 100 times more fulfilled. You know why? Because the time is going to pass anyway, so you might as well play the long game. Okay? Whether that be with career or revenge, if that's your thing. Personally, I don't think revenge is worth investing your time and energy into, but you could play the long game in terms of just not you actively seeking revenge on someone, but just waiting for somebody that is a bad person or they did you wrong, just waiting to see how the universe hands them their just desserts, right? I'm not going to deny you that there is some satisfaction in that. As far as actively seeking out revenge on people, though, I would say it's not worth your time. Like, don't even put your energy into that, queen. But yeah, no, like people on Instagram, I'm not into it. And then people try to DM me without even following me or liking a post. And it just pisses me off. Like, why? Obviously, I don't ever respond to those messages, but just the audacity alone. Usually it's guys, right? And I'm just like, what is it about me that makes you think it's okay to just step to me like this as if you're entitled to get something free from me or you're entitled to a second of my time? Let me show you guys something. Actually, I forgot about this. So let me see. Can I share my screen? Am I really going to share my screen? Yeah, it doesn't matter. I have the luxury of anonymity as a smaller content creator. So I'm going to take advantage of that for as long as I can. Sharing my screen is just easier than preparing all of the images and video files beforehand because StreamYard is not very user-friendly in my experience. But yeah, let me share my screen. Hold on. Wait, I only want to share... Ooh, okay. I gotta be careful because I only want to share one tab or one window, but I feel like there's only one option. So let me just make sure that there's nothing incriminating. No, there's nothing suspicious on my computer, but you never know what crazies are out there that are lurking and watching me, because I know you bitches watch my lives. Because tell me why every time I go live or I upload a particularly, viral by my standards, not by regular standards, but every time I upload a video that gets more views than usual, or it's about a hot trending topic, tell me why random ass bitches always come out of the woodwork that were not paying attention to me before. They have not liked my posts. It's been crickets on their end for months, right? But then all of a sudden, every time I go live or every time I upload, I drop a banger of a video or a piece of content, all of a sudden they're lurking all over my Instagram stories. Again, not a like or a word of encouragement to be found anywhere in sight. And yet they have the time to basically monitor and obsess over my every move on social media. Like, why are you so obsessed? Okay, hold on. And these are people that, like, don't get me started, okay? Don't get me started on the people that approached me first to exchange Instagrams or exchange socials, and then somewhere down the line, I'm literally minding my business. I'm not doing anything. It's not my fault that, like, you friended me thinking that you were just going to be able to turn me into another one of your online fans, but that doesn't make any sense if we met at a social function. So that means that we're both on equal footing, at least in the context of this function. So if you approach me to exchange socials at a function, first of all, I never approach anyone first to exchange Instagram because I'm not a fake ass bitch, and I'm not like thirsty or desperate for followers. So I don't need to do that. You know what I mean? Like, I trust, and I only want people that are naturally, organically driven, or what's the word? Attracted to my content and to me as a person, my values, my viewpoints, things like that. If that resonates with that person, I only want people who genuinely resonate with my message to follow me and be in community with me. I don't need to be out here panhandling and doing backflips and cartwheels for likes and follows. Have you ever heard me say once on this channel? Okay, maybe a couple of times, like in the beginning, but recently, I would say consistently, I've never asked on any of my lives or videos for people to follow or like the video or share the video, because I don't give a crap, okay? My work and my voice speaks for itself. I don't need to get out here and beg for people to follow me. If you don't want to follow me, bye. I don't want you to follow me if you don't want to follow me. Does that make sense? I feel like that is the mark of, and like the people that I follow as well, the people that I'm drawn to, they have the same attitude. I feel like that's a mark of a truly confident person who's like confident in her own skin and stands 10 toes down on what she says. Okay. I don't backtrack. I don't kowtow to the status quo, nothing like that. So it just kills me every time I go to like a function and all these girls are so not it's not just girls, it's guys too. So I'm gonna show you in a minute, right? I told you I was gonna share my screen. Don't worry. You're gonna get your money's worth on this live. But like guys and girls, just these I don't know what to call them. Energy vampires, clout chasers, we'll say, like these clout chasers at these freaking functions and events that are just they're so nice and in my face and wanting to be besties when we're there at the event, wanting to exchange Instagram profiles, and then later on, I guess they get butthurt or they hurt their own feelings after seeing that I'm not just gonna be there to like and fawn over every single post, every single move that they make on social media, especially if it's like basic bitch talking points, which a lot of them, that's all they do on social media. They take to it to whine and complain and just talk about the most derivative, subject matters ever. It's not stimulating to me. It's not interesting. I'm not trying to be mean or anything. Like if you post a picture of yourself looking great in a new outfit or whatever, I'll like it. But if you post like really basic bitch type stories about how this person sneak dissed you, or I don't know, you got offended by Sally at your job, I'm not going to like it. I'm not going to pay any mind to your stories. In fact, I will hide your stories if you do that kind of stuff. But that's my way of like still following you and still supporting you without having to ingest any of your BS to bring my vibe down, if that makes sense. So anyway, these people like approach me and they're all friendly and they want to be besties at parties, right? And they follow me on Instagram and I follow them back, and tell me why months later they randomly unfollow me. And I'm like, do I trigger you that much? Because I feel like that must be the only explanation. I've never in my life had to go back and unfollow someone that I met just under normal circumstances at some sort of party or event. I mean, unless we had a huge falling out or unless they, I don't know, unless they support genocide or something, I'm not going to unfollow. I don't have time to be going back through my following list like that and like cherry picking who I want to keep and who I don't. But then, yeah, tell me why these people always follow me, but then unfollow me months later when I guess they get a whiff of how self-confident and self-assured I really am. I guess my reels, my content just triggers them because I'm like, I don't think I'm doing anything particularly offensive, but I guess looking hot, having a great body, being unapologetic about it, not complaining about the same basic bitch shit that 99% of these people take to their social media to complain about. Apparently, that is a groundbreaking thing out here in these streets that people just cannot take because it shines a light on how small they're playing in their lives and how much BS they're tolerating for no reason really, other than the fact that, see, people like to paint themselves, people are so fucking manipulative. They paint themselves out as being such martyrs, or, oh, I'm such a good person, like I'm trying to be so considerate and this is why I'm so conflicted over this and that situation. And it's like, bitch, no, actually, you want to know what the real issue is? You're just afraid of being unliked. You're so desperate and dependent on outside validation that you're terrified at the idea that anyone could dislike you for a view you have or just the way you live your life, a hobby that you happen to enjoy. And therefore, you're manipulative as shit because you try to do things online. We're talking about social media right now, so online but also just in real life as well. You try to do things to control the outcome of how other people see you, and that's manipulative as shit. And then you wonder why people like me will not fuck with you. You wonder why a real bitch will not give you the time of day, because I see through your bullshit immediately, and I don't even play that game. Okay, so let me let me share my screen. I just wanted to show you guys something funny. Okay, I'm scared. It's like not giving me the option to Oh, okay, wait. Enter my password. Quit. Okay. Sorry, I thought it wasn't going to let me select which tab to share. I thought it was just going to show you my entire screen, but I can select the tab. Okay, so I'm going to show you my couch surfing account. Wait a minute. Oh, you can see me too, right? Okay, wait. No. Why am I so tiny? Okay, I guess I have to be tiny in order for you to read. So, just a little backstory. We are in Q4 of 2025. Okay, time does not exist apparently, and I have been deciding, you know, I've been considering something very important, which is what am I gonna do come New Year's? Now, obviously, the obvious choice is that I'm gonna go to Dubai, but the thing is, I don't know yet because tickets get more and more expensive every year. So I'm thinking that maybe if I go after New Year's, like January or even February, the ticket prices are gonna drop by at least half. Also, the dates that I was planning to go originally, which was December 29th to January 10th, because that was the one where I found it was like 190,000 Japanese yen for the round trip nonstop ticket. So that was the cheapest one that I found, and I was contemplating those dates, but then I totally forgot that I have this beauty pageant thing to walk in on January 4th, so I have to be in Tokyo on January 4th. So, but if I try to take any other days, like up until the 3rd, because you know the Japanese public holiday for New Year's is until the 3rd, so that day is a heavy travel day for most people in Japan, which means that ticket prices are grossly inflated. So I might as well just skip New Year's, right? Because I've been to Dubai for New Year's for 2 years in a row at this point. And although I'd still love to go a third time, mostly just because there's nothing for me to do in Japan if I stay here for New Year's. In Dubai, at least I can watch the fireworks at the Burj Khalifa. Plus, I have that dancer friend that says she really wants to go with me this time. So, not that we would be taking the exact same flight or anything, but she said that she wanted to go when I was going so that our trips could overlap a little bit at least so that we could, thought around and do our hot girl stuff in Dubai. But I don't know. I'm thinking that I mean, the ticket prices are gonna be a consideration for her as well, so I might suggest to her if we can just wait a little bit until January or February. But anyway, I first, decided to put a little trip up on Couchsurfing, so I didn't actually plan this trip or buy tickets or anything yet, but I decided to just put it up for the time being to see what kinda offers I would get because I use Couchsurfing for guys to give me free rides to the airport and stuff, only in Dubai, okay? This is very important. Don't try this with any other city, please. I I'm not gonna be held responsible for what happens to you if you try this with weirdos in other cities that are not as safe. I only do this with guys in Dubai, and I don't actually go to anyone's house unless it's, like, in the bright, burning, scorching daytime for just an hour or 2 to kill time before I check into my hotel, making that very clear. But yeah, Uber rides to and from the airport and my hotel do add up. So this is what I got to do sometimes to save a buck. And yeah, whatever. I'm not ashamed of it. Will Smith don't got a cuss to sell records, but I do. So fuck him and fuck you. Okay, so where's this tab? I can't find it anymore. Oh no, I can't actually find. Okay, wait. Okay, here we are. So I'm getting like all of these dusties. There's a lot of dust on Couchsurfing, right? So when you get a dusty message, just make sure to block them immediately. But I'm gonna go through them with you. I'm gonna go through the messages I got this time for the fake trip that I put up. I put like December 29th to January 10th. So Yeah, I'm hoping by some miracle that I'm still gonna be able to go, 'cause truth be told, I do wanna be there for New Year's, right? Because in Japan, it's kinda, like, quiet and boring. New Year's is more of a family holiday in Japan, so people go back home to their prefectures or the city, the town that they were born in, and they basically just spend New Year's with their family. Like, it's a very quiet affair, I feel like, but I don't have family in Japan, obviously, so I would rather be in a place where there's fireworks and parties and stuff that are happening. But yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll manifest my New Year's trip. But if not, it doesn't matter because I'm still gonna go regardless in either January or February. But anyway, so I put out my fake trip on couch surfing just to see what kind of offers would roll in. So I'm gonna go through a couple of them with you now. So let me see. This is okay. This one is so funny, you guys, and I can show you because this is not his real name. But this guy, I don't know if he even remembers me. I'm thinking there's no way that he doesn't remember me because we definitely met at a dating event like a year or two ago. We went to this singles dating event in Dubai, which I don't do anymore because I feel like it signals low value for a woman. I feel like if you're a woman of a certain caliber and level, you don't have to resort to dating apps or publicly open events, I'll say. If it's like some private, really exclusive matchmaker service, that's a different ordeal. But if it's like public events that are available to the public or anybody can buy a ticket to, I don't think it's worth it for really high value women. But yeah, I definitely met this guy at an event. And actually, I thought he was fine. You know, we just had like, it was a speed dating event. So yeah, this is definitely him. I forgot his name, started with a M, but he's from Egypt. And I just remember we didn't really have much time to talk because it was speed dating. So they switched out the men at the table every 15 minutes. But it was just like a normal guy, right? And he was talking about business and stuff. And again, he asks for my Instagram, obviously, which turns me off automatically when guys ask for that. But since I don't see or I didn't see many of the people at that event as an actual romantic prospect anyway, I was like, whatever. Might as well just get some regular networking contacts here. So he asks me, right? I never ask people first for their Instagram, and he follows me on Instagram. And what do you know? Of course, he unfollows me for some unbeknownst, inexplicable reason months later. So I'm like, all right, fine. If I find out that you came to me asking for my Instagram and then you do some sneaky shit later, like unfollow me without even doing me uh the etiquette or the favor of making sure that I unfollow you in return, then you're getting blocked, okay? Because you squandered the one and only chance that you had to connect with me. You don't get there's no takesies backsies over here. You don't get a second chance with me unless you want to pay a re-entry fee. So I just think it's super funny that this guy, and again, I don't have any like strong feelings towards him because like I said, we literally talked for like 15 seconds, 15 minutes at this dating event. And then I basically just left. And he wasn't like in hot pursuit of me or anything. He was just acting very normal. It was almost as if we were just at a business networking event. Like he wasn't being weird or acting like a simp or anything. All he did was ask to exchange Instagram profiles with me. And I actually thought, like, when I saw him, you know, when I saw his Instagram for the first time, he has like these types of photos, right? Or like this one, for example, of him speaking at business conferences and stuff. So I was like, oh, cool. Okay. So he's a entrepreneur type of guy. He's running his own business. But then he unfollows me for no reason, like months later. So of course I block him. I'm like, all right, goodbye. Thank you for taking yourself out. Thank the trash for taking itself out. And then, so imagine my surprise when I see, how long ago was his message? 8 days ago. So a week ago, he offers to host me after seeing my public trip to Dubai on couchsurfing. And I'm like, I know that there's no way that you could have forgotten who I was because I was the only East Asian girl there. I was the only girl from Tokyo there at that event. So clearly, I feel like there's no way you could have forgotten me. And I feel like you were triggered by my content. Maybe some of the stuff I said about no 50-50 relationships, or don't go on a coffee date with a guy. Maybe it was something along those lines that offended him to the point where he wanted to unfollow me. But I just find it so funny how they always want to come back and slide back in as if nothing happened. So he says, "Hi, welcome in advance to Dubai. If you'd like, I can host you during your stay. I live alone, so it's safe and relaxed. And you'll have your own comfortable place to sleep, Wi Fi, and easy access to transport. I'm usually working or out exploring, but I love showing guests around the city or grabbing coffee if you're up for it. I don't grab coffee with ninjas, but thank you, I guess, for the sentiment. If you prefer privacy, that's no problem either. It's completely your choice. Either way, you'll get a cozy base and a local friend in Dubai." Okay, in all honesty, actually, I think that this guy, as far as safety goes, he's a safe guy because I didn't get weird vibes from him either when I met with him in person. This seems like a solid dude. Like, if I, first of all, I would never take any guy's offer up on actually staying at their place. But if I took up his offer to like hang out, or if I let him pick me up, I don't think he has a car. But let's say he had a car and he wanted to pick me up for a meal or something. If I was bored enough and I had nothing on my agenda, I would feel safe with this guy because, again, like I said, he didn't give me any weird vibes. He just gave like young entrepreneur type vibes. But the fact that you asked for my Instagram and then unfollowed me months later, and then now you're trying to slide into my DMs on Couchsurfing after seeing my public trip, acting as if it's your first time meeting me, is very weird. So let's look at, but as far as like, okay, if we never met before, if this was just like a random new guy that messaged me, I would consider this a solid message. However, he didn't mention anything about having a car, so I think it's safe to say that he doesn't have one, which means that he would be close to useless to me on this trip anyway. But yeah, look at this. Let's look at these other messages. "Can I be the person to pick you up from the airport at 7 a.m. in the morning?" See, if they can't write complete sentences, or if they can, like, what is this? What are these parentheses? If you cannot write with proper grammar, and if you're under the age of 30, so this is like 3 strikes, you're getting blocked. Although he did say, "Can I pick you up from the airport?" But he didn't mention a car. So I'm gonna assume if you're 29 in Dubai, you probably don't have a car. Yeah, see, no cars in sight. Let's search for car in his references. No mention of a car, no mention of he was so nice to give us a ride from the airport. Block. If you ever are bored and you want to just see what you can pull, or I don't know, what kind of guys are lurking in the shadows, just waiting for a girl like you to go on a solo trip to their city of residence, just put up a fake trip on Couchsurfing and watch all of the messages roll in. Even if you don't actually go on the trip, it's a fun little social experiment. But yeah, so we blocked that guy. He was too young anyway. I consider anyone below the age of 40, honestly, at this point, to be quite useless. Let's look at this guy. I already know this is a immediate block just from the preview of the message. But if you ever feel like meeting up for a coffee or a walk or just to hang out and unwind a bit, yeah, so I don't meet up with guys. I only deal with guys that pick me up. I don't go out for coffee with guys. Definitely don't go on a walk with guys. I don't enjoy nature. I'd be happy to catch up. And if you ever need a place to stay or a quiet spot to relax, you're welcome. No pressure. I'm just offering in case it helps. 26 years old from Uzbekistan. Absolutely not. But seems like a harmless kid. So maybe I won't go as far as to block him, because to me, this is just a kid. What is this? Hello, Jean. How are you? 38 years old and you don't know how to write an actual proper offer to a girl. Block. I'm not even being mean, you guys. There's women out here that are like, I know women that are 100 times more savage than me. I feel like I'm holding back when I come here on these YouTube streets. And see, that's the problem with most of you all. Because you think that, oh my God, you're being so mean. You're not giving them a chance. No, I'm actually being nice. I'm doing everyone a favor by saving all of our time, okay? Marco. See, I don't like this. Hi, Jean. I don't like it when guys drag out the words like, hey, oh my God. Like, what are you? A 13-year-old girl? Get the fuck out of my inbox. Okay. I am not having it this week, you guys. You know, even at work, usually I am like the most unbothered employee ever at work because I know more than anybody else at that place that I'm only here to collect my check. Okay, anything else that happens is literally free entertainment for me because the world revolves around you. It's your reality. It's your delulu, and nobody else can tell you otherwise. You know, because you're the only one that has to live in your body and walk around. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen now because I feel. I hope you guys enjoyed that though. I wasn't even being mean. It's just the cold hard truth. That's all. In fact, I would say I was quite diplomatic. Cuz I could curse you out. Like I could have replied to them explaining to them from A to Z exactly why they are so unqualified to even talk to me, but instead I was kind enough to just leave gracefully without a trace, you know, by blocking them. I saved everyone's dignity this way. See, I can't stand it when people who don't understand like the true place of compassion that my actions are coming from, all they do is they only know how to take things for face value and how to project their own insecurities onto every single thing that they do to the point where they make me the villain, right? They make me the bad guy for just being out here and living my life and being a real one. But yeah, no. At work, I'm usually so unbothered and like people, there's been this one girl in IT. I talked about her in my previous video. I'm not going to talk about her anymore because she's really not important, but she tried to shade me like a couple of times this past week about, she said something about like, okay, so I sent an emoji with, I sent like, you know, the girl shrugging emoji. And then they have the Asian looking version of it. This is on Microsoft Teams, so it looks slightly different from like the regular emojis that you see on your iPhone, but it's almost the same. It's basically, it's just a girl shrugging like this, and she looks Asian, or I use the Asian looking girl, right? But then this other girl from IT, when I used that emoji to her, she was like, oh my God, that's exactly what your hair actually looks like. Okay. I don't take it as an insult because I know it only means that you're so obsessed to me. You're so obsessed with me to the point where you see me in everything, right? Even in a simple emoji that is conveying my disinterest or my lack of investment in this meeting that we're both in. You cannot help but connect that to me in some way. And since you are insecure within yourself and you don't know, like you project your insecurities onto everyone else, you don't know how to compliment me, so it comes out twisted, you know? It comes out as like shade. I understand. I'm not bothered by it. However, yeah, I'm not bothered by that girl from IT. However, other things at work this week have been pissing me off to no end, and it's kind of confusing me too on some level, if I'm going to be really honest, because I also don't know where this annoyance is coming from. I thought maybe it's just the weather, maybe it's the fact that, you know, I don't have a working AC. I have my little fan here, so it's not completely hopeless, but I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just cranky because my room temperature is not as comfortable as I'm used to it being, or yeah, or I just am getting sick of all these issues that we keep encountering because we just launched an app a couple weeks ago, and everything that you could possibly imagine is going wrong with it because they didn't properly test it and whatnot in the beta phase before releasing it. Like, it's just a drag, right? But I don't know, like, okay, I'll give you a couple of examples, and you're gonna be like, what? Those are such non-issues, Ren. However, I'm just telling you what I'm noticing in my reactions this week. I don't really fully grasp it either. I just know that I'm irritated. So, for example, I have not been in the office in a week and a half. It's been a pretty long stint because I didn't find any reason to go to the office last week. Plus, the office is really far from where I live, right? It takes like, well, if I go during off-peak hours on the train, it takes maybe like an hour door to door, which is reasonable. But if I go during peak hours, during rush hour, which is anywhere between 7 a.m. and 10 a.m. on this side of Tokyo, so I'm starting off at Chofu Station, and I would have to get to Ginza Station to go to my office. If I go on Keio line, which is the line closest to me, during rush hour, that train is always freaking late. And like, I don't know where they are not getting the memo that we are in Japan, and Japanese trains are supposed to be on time down to the last second, but somehow only my line has not gotten the memo, and they are late almost every damn day, especially during rush hour, which is why I avoid those hours like the plague unless I really, really absolutely have to be in for an important meeting or something, which is almost never the case. But I try to show my face at least once a week or once in a while. It's just to make sure that people don't forget how much of a baddie I am, right? Including my direct line managers and stuff. So anyway, I didn't go in all of last week, and then I didn't go Monday. We had a public holiday on Tuesday. Wednesday, I also didn't go in. Thursday, which is today, this guy from the IT department, he's like training us on this new technology. So we had the next like training module thing. He scheduled it for 10 a.m. today. So I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay, you're going to make me go during rush hour on the train to attend your little seminar thing. Usually, like in the past, he schedules it in the afternoon, so at least I can take the train during off-peak hours, but for some reason he had to schedule it at 10 a.m. today. So I was like, fine, I'm going to get on the train at 8:30 a.m. Of course, it was like 30 minutes late or something atrocious like that. So it took me like an hour and 20 minutes to get to Ginza, which like technically from door to door without traffic or delays, it should take just under 1 hour, but it took me an hour and 20 minutes. So good thing I left half an hour earlier than I anticipated even. But anyway, so I get there and I sit through the training. His trainings are fine because he's from a completely different department from me. But then, oh yeah, yesterday, I remember I was working from home yesterday, right? And like usually my manager is totally fine, totally hands off. She never micromanages. She's a good manager, right? But for some reason yesterday, out of blue, she sends me this message. She's like, what did she say? She's like, oh, Ren, are you alive? I'm like, excuse me? So she sends me, she's like, are you alive? There are so many issues coming in right now. I'm like, yeah, bitch, I know. We're all watching the same dashboard. I know there's like 50 plus incidents in the span of a week. But why would you say something so passive aggressive to me, like, are you alive? She sends it to me at 5 p.m., right? But we literally just talked. So like I literally was just chatting with her at 3 p.m. And I told her, she was asking me, oh, can you confirm such and such with this other person? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm about to head into a meeting with him, this manager that she wanted to confirm something with, and another guy, technical guy. So we have us three, we have a meeting every week to keep each other up to date on the incidents and stuff. So yesterday we happened to have our meeting scheduled at 3 p.m. So I told her, yeah, don't worry, I will confirm that thing that you wanted to confirm with him during my meeting with him at 3 p.m. So I'm like, that I was in a meeting from 3 to 4 p.m. with one of the IT managers. So then I get out of the meeting at 4 p.m. and I reported back to you what you wanted to confirm at 4 p.m. So now it's 5 p.m., which is just 1 hour later, and you're asking me if I'm alive as if I haven't been working or something, as if I've been MIA for the entire day. Excuse me? She's never said something like that before. She's never said something passive aggressive like that. I'm going to chalk it up to maybe she's just going through something because, like, I know for a fact that I know she has too much on her plate as the manager of, well, I can't say the division or else you'll know where I work, but yeah, I know that she's one of those types that always, she's a great manager to me in the sense that, like, she doesn't micromanage or anything, and she's always given me glowing reviews every time the time rolls around for a performance review. But she's one of those, like, typical stereotypical Japanese working women that try so hard to prove their worth by working themselves to the bone every single day, right? Like, I know for a fact that she goes to the office almost every single day, even though everyone's allowed to work from home or work hybrid, as to design their working style to suit their schedule. But I know that she goes into the office almost every single day, and she's there until at least like 9 p.m., 10 p.m. every day. And even though she hasn't given me any problems so far, except for that weird ass passive aggressive comment that she made yesterday, which I'm going to circle back to that and tell you how, like, nothing came of it. Like, she didn't follow up or say anything more after that. So again, I'm just going to write it off as she was having a moment with herself. But today, it's funny because I was like grumpy about the fact that I had to be in at 10 a.m. for that training session. And then we had another meeting that my manager and I were both scheduled to attend at 4 p.m., but it's virtual, of course, because it's with the global team. So then it's so funny because I literally like rage quit at lunchtime because I'm sitting in the common area, and of course everyone's milling in to eat their lunch around this time, and they're chatting loudly and they're irritating me, which again is weird because usually I don't let these stupid little workplace things irritate me. Like, things roll off my back in the workplace. I know that I'm there to just collect my check. So what is there to be upset about, right? But everything is just getting on my nerves, like grating every last cell of my body these days. I don't know what it is. I thought Mercury retrograde was over, but apparently not. So yeah, I like tried to stick it out for an hour or two after lunchtime, but then I don't think I even made it to 2 p.m. before I rage quit and closed my laptop and went home. I think because, like, there were these two girls sitting at a table next to me and they were eating their lunch, right? And this is the thing, they weren't being obnoxiously loud or anything. We don't have people in our workplace. Usually in Japanese companies, no one is obnoxiously loud like that, even if they chit chat and have a little kiki in the cafeteria, or it's not really a cafeteria, but it's more of just like a common area. And then I like to stay next to the drink machine. So that's why I'm there, so that I could get free dibs and a straight direct line to the matcha drink machine. But yeah, these two girls were sitting next to me talking about the typhoon in Hong Kong and some other dumb shit. And they weren't even being super annoying, but for some reason, everything was annoying me to the 10th degree these past few weeks. So yeah, I didn't make it until 2 p.m. I think, like, I just couldn't take another second of having to listen to their conversation peripherally. And I'm so I don't want to say I'm such a bitch, but I don't play games about my comfort, right? I'm so serious about my own comfort throughout the day that I carry earplugs around with me. And I had half a mind to pull out my plugs and put them on in front of these girls, but obviously they weren't paying me any mind because they were too engrossed in their own little conversation. So eventually I just decided to leave because I was like, you know what? I don't even have a meeting or anything until 4 p.m. So whatever little things that come up between now and then, I can just answer them on my phone while I am riding the train home back to my nice comfy ass apartment, okay? Because I don't want to be here amongst these people and their idle chatter. So I come home at I leave at 2 p.m. and then I arrive at around 3 p.m. at home. And then, of course, this bitch, my manager, sorry, she's not a bitch, but everyone can catch strays from me at this point. So of course, she messages me like the moment that I get home. And I don't tell her when I'm coming to the office, when I'm going to arrive, or when I'm going home. We don't do like ETA. We just, again, this is what I appreciate about her managing style. But she messages me and she's like, "Oh, hey, Ren, if you're at the office, if you need to use a meeting space, like I took, I blocked off this conference room for us to use for that meeting, the one that we were having with the global team at 4 p.m." And I straight up ignored her message. I didn't even tell her, like, "Hey, sorry, I'm actually going to be headed home now." I was just like, "Bitch, you know I'm gone, okay? My lack of a reply is a reply. I'm not going to be there." But yeah, obviously, like, she wasn't saying, "Oh, you have to be there." She was just being nice and saying that, "Hey, I reserved a room for us." And it wasn't just for me. There was like some other people also that were in the office that day that were going to go and join that global team meeting with her in that room. But I left that invite on red because I was like, "Nope, that will not be necessary. I will be here sitting in my overheated apartment because I'd rather be in an overheated apartment and sweating my ass off than sitting up there in the common area of our office next to a bunch of people and their chatter during lunch hour, which is from like 12 to 3 because people take lunch at all different hours of the day, which is fine. But again, it makes for a not very quiet work environment that's not very conducive to my concentration. So I'd rather be here, even though I have no working AC, because at least I might be burning a couple of extra calories. You know what I mean? By sweating my ass off here. So yeah. Then I made it an extra point of like following up double, triple times more than usual just to combat the fact that she was weirdly passive aggressive to me yesterday, saying, "Oh, are you alive? Are you keeping track of all the tickets?" Yes, I'm alive. I literally just talked to you an hour ago. Like, what are you trying to imply? Are you alive? Because like sometimes you disappear for hours at a time and I never question you. Are you okay? Are you alive? I'm gonna start just using people's words, like everything that they try to come at me sideways with, I'm just going to start throwing it back in their face. "Oh, you look exactly like this emoji. Thank you so much. It's my favorite emoji." I don't know what you're trying to imply. Thank you. You look exactly like the clown emoji. It's so cute, right? "Oh, are you alive?" "Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Don't worry about me." "Are you okay? You seemed tired yesterday. You seem like you haven't gotten any sleep at all. You look like you have bags under your eyes. Are you okay? You look tired." It's giving, you know what, like, that's another thing I hate when people say that you look tired, which thankfully no one said that to me for a while, because the one thing that people cannot say about me, see, people can think whatever they want, they can get as triggered as they want, they can unfollow me, they can be as shady as they want. One thing they're never gonna say is that Ren looks bad or Ren looks like what she's been through. That's one thing I've never heard, okay? You can call me a bitch or whatever you want, but you're not gonna call me ugly. So yeah. But then that brings me to the title of this video, which is you have to remind yourself. So this is me reminding myself as well that whenever you trigger other people, you should take it as a sign that you're doing something right and that you're actually leveling up in life, because there's no reason for people to react to you in a certain way unless you hit a nerve within them just by simply being, by existing, okay? Being your fabulous self. Because that's what it really is. They cannot stand how you move through this world in such a self-assured way, and how the things that they let get them down, or the things that the petty things that they allow their mind to be preoccupied with, the fact that you are not bothered by it and there's solid proof of it on your face by the fact that you don't have any wrinkles, you don't have any pores, okay? You see, I have no pores, no pimples. This is collagen, baby. This is I have been using this, the Medicube booster device. I don't even know what it's called. Booster Pro by Medicube. I had like a $100 gift card thing from YesStyle because, you know, I'm a YesStyle influencer, and they give me like a birthday gift every year. So I used my $100 towards this, along with a bunch of points and the commission that I get from you guys. Thank you so much if you've ever used my code to purchase from YesStyle. So I ended up only paying 10,000 yen for this, which is really good. It's like a third of, you know, the retail price. And I haven't been using it every single day, more like once or twice a week, to be honest. I want to use it more, but sometimes it's just hard to make room for it in my routine. But so far, it's been pretty good. I think if I just can buckle down and commit to more consistent use, I'm going to look even more snatched and glowing and make these bitches even more mad every time I step outside the house. But yeah, just remember that you're doing something right if people are triggered by you. And if they try to try you by making little snide remarks or a little passive aggressive, like, oh, are you dead? Are you alive? Are you working? Oh, you look exactly like this emoji. Like, what the hell was that even? That's a new one. I will give that to her. That was a pretty original one. I've never heard somebody compare me to an emoji before up until now. Just know that, like, you should take it as a compliment, okay? Do not fall for their little tricks and their little ploy to knock you off your throne, because that's really what it is. By saying that, they're testing to see how strong you really are, or if you are of fragile countenance or mindset, right? Because if you allow them to trigger you with their little shady passive aggressive comments, then it's basically like them kicking the stool out from underneath you. Or no, that's not a good way to put it. They're taking the power from you in that moment. It's basically like you're holding this giant ball of energy, right? There's power, and you're the one that's wielding it in your hands. And by them coming up to you and trying you or making a snide remark, trying to get a rise or a reaction out of you, it's basically like they're asking you, hey, can I have that ball of power, that ball of energy that you're obviously benefiting so much from? Can you give it to me? If you give in and if you allow yourself to be triggered by what they say, it's basically like you're handing all of your power, you're handing that ball of energy and power to them without a fight. And you should never do that. So the way that you keep your power is that you stay unbothered, no matter what they say, okay? And the way that you stay unbothered is that you remember the I don't want to say hierarchy, but remember the actual position that you hold, because they would not try to knock you off your throne or knock you down a couple of pegs if you weren't already up here. You know what I mean? Nobody tries to punch down at someone that they perceive they're doing better than. They always have the smoke and the ire for people that they perceive are doing better than them. So just remember that. The very fact of them trying to provoke you or get a rise out of you, it means that they already see you as above them or superior to them somehow. And it means that you're triggering them, or else why would they feel compelled to speak to you when you were literally just over here minding your business the whole time? Okay? So yeah, this is a reminder to myself as well, because I don't know what's going on. Like, why am I letting these basics trigger me inside, as much as I hate to admit it. But that's kind of what's been happening for these past few weeks. Now, at least I'm smart enough to not let it show and to not actually give them what they want on the surface. But inside, I've just been over everything. I'm just like not willing at all, even to let it roll off my back. I'm like, no, you need to actually leave. Like, we need to actually remove you from my reality, because this is not going to work for me. Let me interrupt with a slight intermission. I wanted to unbox this, actually. I got this a couple of days ago on a total whim from Donkey. So this is the Barbie Land mini lipstick. Does it have an official name? It just says Mini Happy Land, Mini Barbie Land Fashionista Assorted Lipstick Dolls, I guess. But I think, okay, I totally cheated the system because I looked up on Reddit the serial numbers of all of the different designs. So there's actually, let me open this right now. If you look inside, there's a serial number here. So if you just type this into Google, you'll find charts and graphs and stuff that Reddit users have already uploaded about which serial number corresponds to which design. So I'm pretty sure this one that doesn't sound as satisfying as I imagined it would. Okay, because I kind of wanted to use this for an ASMR stick, but the sound is not that satisfying. I'm pretty sure this one is actually this Barbie right here with the striped tube top and the pink mini skirt. So let's open her up. Ta-da! What did I tell you? Okay, sorry. I guess there was not that much suspense in this reveal, but wow, that is really tiny, huh? Does she do anything? Or, oh, look, you can bend her. It's kind of like a Polly Pocket situation. Oh, yeah, and then you can twist her. You can twist her up just like a lipstick. This Barbie represents you, okay? See how she's standing on a pedestal? And see how she's, oh, crap. I was going to say she's glued on there, but actually you can take her off. Okay, but this is actually an even more perfect metaphor now, because she actually has a heart platform. How cute is that? Wow, I didn't know they went into this much detail. Is this Hasbro or is this a different company? Barbie's made by oh wait, no, this is Mattel. Right, okay. Yeah, Barbie's made by Mattel. I forgot. So you can take her off, but you can also like snap her into place onto this platform, right? So don't let anybody snap you off of your platform, queen, okay? Because see, the platform has your name on it, Barbie. That means this is where you belong. It doesn't belong to anyone else. This is your birthright to be in this position, all right? Anyone that has a problem with it is just beefing with themselves, honestly. Wait. Forgot to twist it back down. Okay, well, that's pretty cute. I actually think this is genius. Crap. I might want to collect more now. Okay, it's kind of hard to see because the picture is so small. But, oh, there's a Ken doll here. Okay, maybe I'll try to get the Ken doll next time. But yeah. Thanks for listening to me rant. I'm going to go outside now and get another drink and clear another 5,000 steps, even though I already walked I went way past my 10,000 step minimum today. Look at that. That's like 15, almost 15,000 steps that I walked today. These bitches are so pressed because they could never be me. They could never do this. Wait, maybe if I make the screen. Yeah, see? Almost 15,000. But it's not midnight yet. So I have 40 more minutes to get some more steps in. And you know what? It makes total sense that people would be triggered by me. Because who else stands on business the way I do in my everyday life? Not very many people that I know, which tells me that I need to get a new social group, which I'm trying to build, okay, you guys? But as you know, it's hard. It's hard to find quality people within your vicinity. I think like on the internet, this is why I'm so thankful and blessed to have my platform that I've been steadily building for the past 7-8 years at this point. That's a long time. But yeah, I started doing YouTube regularly at 28. So now I'm 36. It's been almost 8 years. Before you know it, it's going to be like my 10-year anniversary on YouTube. But I don't know what I would do without the communities of badass women that I found on social media, because most of these regular women in my immediate vicinity are just not cutting it. Like, I will be polite to them, we'll be cordial and everything in passing if we have to work together or, you know, see each other at parties and functions. That's totally fine. I'll play the game as long as they stay out of my hair, which nobody does anything dramatic to me in Tokyo. That's one thing that I guess I appreciate about Japanese culture. Like, people might talk behind your back sometimes, but nobody actively, at least not in my case, you know, knock on wood, I've never had anyone try to actively sabotage me just because you, like, in Japanese culture, I feel like if you did that to somebody and word got out that you were the mastermind behind somebody else's downfall or whatever, that would reflect more poorly on you than it would on the person who was the target of your plan or whatever. So people are very, very averse to having their own reputations tainted in that way, which prevents them from, you know, trying to sabotage you. So I don't have to deal with like active sabotage or anything, but I'm over the petty, shady, unspoken, passive-aggressive bullshit. And I'm not talking about like being in Japan. I'm just talking about in general, like on social media, at work, just in my regular life. I need to do something, okay, about my immediate circle. And if that means that I have to self-isolate for a long ass time until I find the right people, which I kind of have been doing this entire year, if we're going to be real, I've kind of just been keeping to myself and working on myself and concentrating on my own goals and my own level up. Does it get lonely sometimes? Yes, of course. But again, that's why I'm so glad that I have social media to turn to. I have the mentors that I found in the older women's channels that I follow. But I think it's time that, you know, I really want to find the equivalent of that, at least in some areas in my real life, you know. I don't need everyone to check every single box, but at least I need, if I'm gonna like call somebody my acquaintance or invest time, invest energy into getting to know these people, they need to bring something valuable to the table, whether it's business information or level up, like whether it's a girl that knows all of the hottest plastic surgeries in town or a guy that knows everything about opening a business in Tokyo, opening a business in Dubai. Like, I only want to network with those types of people, or just people who own their own business in general. I find that entrepreneurs, we really tend to vibe very well in a social setting. I tend to vibe very well to business. I tend to vibe very well with entrepreneurs and business owners because they typically talk about business related things, or just their conversations are tinted with a color of openness and positivity and aspirational speak rather than, you know, petty bullshit like what your coworker said behind your back the other day. Who gives a crap? Yeah. But it's hard because I'm not a part of any of the paid, like, most of the events that are worth going to in Tokyo, but I would also wager probably in any big city, most events are held by groups that you have to pay to become a member of, right? You have to pay a membership fee every year, and it's usually pretty expensive if you're talking about quality networking type of groups or community groups. So I've been trying to do my best with what I have, like access to free events. I've been trying to keep my eye out for, because there are some gems that are free sometimes, but you have to look for them really hard. And it's always a gamble because anything that's free is bound, like, there's bound to be low quality people, if there's not a better way of putting it. But there's bound to be, like, yeah, lower quality people that slip through the cracks because the event is free. So there's no gatekeeping mechanism in place, such as a high membership fee. So that's why I'm very wary of free events, but I can't discount them entirely because right now I need to leverage some still to my advantage. But I'm going to a paid event in the middle of October. And then there's actually another paid event happening with this international business group that I'm a member of on LinkedIn. It's a free group, but they have paid networking events from time to time. And I went to one once, and I got like 2 guys took me out on pretty nice dates from that event. So they're holding another one, except this time it's in Osaka. And I'm wondering if I should actually just go to Osaka for that weekend. Because I literally just I went to Osaka and Kobe for a business trip 2 weeks ago. So now that that experience is out of the way, I know how to go through the motions of that now. It's no longer like a challenge to me, but I still don't want to pay the Shinkansen fee to go to Osaka. Because, I mean, it's not expensive. Like, that's the advantage of the Shinkansen, is that you can travel to Osaka for a relatively cheap price, much cheaper than if you were to fly there, obviously, but it's still like 15,000 yen. I don't know if that would be worth it for that event in particular. You know what I've been trying to do, actually? So last year, I actually signed up with this real estate group. I think they're like headquartered in the UA, but it was an event organizing group, and they were organizing a lot of the Dubai real estate conventions that were showcasing in Tokyo at the time. So I almost, I did register with one of these event planning companies to be kind of a hostess or a receptionist at some of these real estate events, but I ended up not going because they changed the dates. And also, I was originally scheduled to do an event in Tokyo, but then they asked me if I could, like, they changed the date, or the one in Tokyo got canceled, but then they were holding another one in Osaka. This was last year, right? And they asked me if I could go to Osaka, and I was like, are you going to pay for my transportation and my lodging in Osaka? Because you do realize that Tokyo to Osaka cost 15,000 yen on the Shinkansen, and plus I would need extra pay for one night of a hotel stay, because Tokyo and Osaka are not right next to each other, because I'm sure that people from this company have never been to Japan before, so they just thought that it was nothing for me to hop from Tokyo to Osaka. But I was like, oh, no, actually, you would have to pay me at least $400 extra to cover that. So then they just ghosted me and I ghosted them. But now that, like, since I went through the process of signing up with that agency, I keep getting similar ads from other like real estate conventions or event planning agencies on Instagram. So I will keep my eye out for those as well and volunteer. I mean, like, not volunteer because they were gonna pay me. I think it was actually pretty good because they were, again, from the UK, so it wasn't Japanese prices. It was like $300 a day or something for a 2-day real estate event about, it was targeted towards people in Japan who might be interested in investing in Dubai real estate. So it would have actually been a pretty good payday for one weekend, like $600 for 2 days of work. But the problem is that they were not willing to pay for my transportation and my hotel in Osaka. So I'm like, if you want me to go to Osaka, obviously you have to pay for everything, right? Not just like, if I were to pay out of pocket for that trip, then I would barely just break even. If I had to pay the train ticket and the hotel, then I'd make like what, $100 at the end of the day. That's not worth it for me to uproot myself for an entire weekend. And actually I would go in the negative because I'd have to get a pet hotel for Maxine as well for those 2 days. So yeah, but I'm keeping my eye out for other real estate events that come to Tokyo, and hopefully maybe sometime in the near future I could do one of those weekend receptionist jobs for that. And whether it pays a lot or not, I think it would be a good networking opportunity without having to actually pay the fee of an actual like guest at one of those events, if that makes sense. Car shows could be another good avenue, like applying to be a car model. I have a few friends who have done that as well, so I'm going to look into that as well. See, like, I'm doing my best, okay? I'm trying. You can't say that I'm not walking the walk. You can't say that I'm not standing on business, but a bitch gets tired sometimes, all right? Like, I'm so sick of having no AC and having to I don't want to complain, okay, cuz my job is very cushy. The fact that I do have the option to work from home, it's already like so much better than what 90% of the world has to deal with. I'm truly so thankful, but at the same time, it's frustrating just to know that you're meant for so much more than this. I know that like my potential is so much bigger than what I'm doing right now just to like pay my bills. And it's not to say there's no shame in any of that. Like, I'm not beating myself up over this. I think I'm always like pumping myself up and being my own best cheerleader every day. But at the same time, it's just hard because you get frustrated, because like you only have so many hours in a day. And after you spend 8 to 10 of them working, even though I have the luxury of working from home, even though I don't have to, like, I actually save at least 2 hours commuting on the train by working from home every day. But then it's like after I get all of my non-negotiables in, like my 10,000 steps for the day, and then I don't order Uber Eats anymore, so every time I want something to eat, I have to physically go out somewhere to the supermarket or to the convenience store to buy something for myself. I don't keep extra food in my apartment so that I don't get tempted for no reason. And so all of those are non-negotiables, and I keep them up every single day, which is why people are so triggered when they see me just living my life on Instagram. Because when I say that I'm going to walk at least 10,000 steps a day, I actually do it. So it's not my fault that like you guys, or not you guys, but the people that are watching me that are secretly, hate watching or stalking or whatever, it's not my fault that they can't stick to the promises that they made to themselves. So don't get mad at me that I'm just showing you your own inadequacies. But anyway, let me stop. Like, yeah, I get all the basics in, so I feel really good about that, right? Like, I finish my work on time. I don't let it drag on forever. I have very strict boundaries for, like, I'm not like, super strict to the point where I close my laptop at 6 p.m. sharp every day, but I am very, like, I will be there when there's a crisis situation or if there's more incidents than anticipated that we have to clear up by the end of the day, sure, I don't mind working a little bit later until like 7 or 8 p.m. But you best believe if I work until 8 p.m. one night, then I'm going to be taking that time back for myself the next morning. Okay. So if it's a 9 to 6 p.m. with an hour lunch break in between, if I work until 8 p.m. one day, then I'm not actually going to start work until like 11 a.m. the next day. I might send a few messages here or there from 9 to 11 a.m. to make it seem like I'm being productive, but I'm not actually giving extra time to this company for no return or rewards. You know what I mean? So I'm very like Spartan about what is it? My boundaries, or like making sure that I'm not getting shortchanged in any situation. But like I said, there's a limit to, like, there's only a finite number of hours per day. And after I finish all the stuff that is a non-negotiable, work, exercise, um, eating healthy foods, going out of my way to get healthy foods instead of just sitting on my ass at home and ordering Uber Eats. After all of that is done, I'm typically like pretty worn out in a good way, you know, because I feel good after getting all of my steps in. But then I'm just ready to go to sleep by then. And there's a part of me that feels unfulfilled with that, because I don't want to, if I had the chance, if I had like an extra 2 hours or 3 hours of energy within me, I would want to use that time towards my social media, like making videos for YouTube and TikTok and stuff. But I just don't have that much extra time on the weekday. So that's been frustrating me as well. But anyway, I'm sure you're sick of me whining and complaining by now. So I promise I won't make this a regular thing, but I just had to get a few things off of my chest. And let me know what you think, or like what would you do in this situation? Would you just block half the people that I'm thinking of doing on Instagram? Would you start a new account altogether? I might do that. But the thing is, people always find me though on my new account. Like I tried that once before. You know, I made a Dubai Kitty account, which is separate from my main Instagram, but sometimes I post stuff on there, especially like usually of random reels that I make when I'm in Dubai. But then like people from my main account still manage to follow and find me there. So it's like I'm going to have to block some people regardless at the end of the day, but anyway. Or just make myself scarce on Instagram altogether, because that platform is made for a bunch of haters, apparently. Because the people on YouTube and TikTok don't act like this. They engage with my content. Like you guys, you're always commenting and having a good laugh with me. TikTok as well, you know. TikTok is less personable. Like I don't get the same people over and over on TikTok the way I do on YouTube. But the people that do comment, it's like, you know, TikTok is the algorithm is so specific towards what niche it delivers to you that, like, for example, I've been watching a lot of Coach collections on TikTok. So that's something that is like a super niche topic that I can instantly strike a conversation up with anyone who is lurking on that part of TikTok. Same thing with like skinny talk is what they call it. You know, people trying to lose weight and motivate each other to stay healthy and stay on their game when it comes to getting in their 10,000 steps or 12,000 steps per day. So those little niche communities in TikTok, I rarely see the same people over and over again, but the people that do congregate, it's like we're already so on the same wavelength about this particular topic that we already feel very familiar amongst each other. Like it's a good vibe, you know, it's a very supportive, familiar vibe. And then YouTube is more like my OG supporters. Instagram, at this point, I don't even know what it is. Just a bunch of haters and ghost watchers and stalkers and simps that are like too afraid to talk to me in person, or they know that they can't afford a minute of my time in person, so they settle for stalking my every move and sucking my essence up for free through my photos on Instagram. Vultures. That's what they are. Good morning, videos. I'm just gonna head off now though. So if you're up for it, you can watch me rant in the replay about everything that has been pissing me off for the past 2 weeks. But I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Seriously though, let me know if you have any tips, because I'm willing to try anything at this point. And I'm beyond my villain era. It's like villain era 2.2 at this point, 2.0.